Hello. I want to share some thoughts on the topic of giving feedback. This is a really emotive topic, and so many books and articles have been written about giving feedback. But I'm going to couch this in a personal experience I've had giving feedback to somebody else and the mistakes that I made. And hopefully, you might learn something from my experience. So I'll keep it very brief and just say that I needed to give feedback to a colleague about something that I observed. I wrote it out by email and hit send right there and then. And that was my first misstep, because had I taken the time to just step away from the computer and then come back at a later point with a fresh pair of eyes, I may have decided to change or soften some of the language. And in hindsight, I do wish I'd done that. And this brings me on to the second point, which is that who's the feedback for? It should always be for the recipient. As the old adage goes, feedback is a gift. And I made no effort to ask the person, how do you like to receive feedback? They might be somebody who really is discouraged by written feedback, especially if it's negative. And tonally, you can't control much beyond what's actually written on the page when you write something down. So here's what I wished I would have done. I wished I got in touch with the person and just said, hey, look, I'd like to share some thoughts with you about X incident or X issue, and give you some feedback, my reflections. Would you be available for a coffee or a walk sometime next week? Or if you prefer, I can just write it out and send it over to you by email. Having a coffee, having a tea with somebody is, we do stuff like that with people we care about predominantly. And so couching the experience of giving feedback about an unpleasant situation in that context can kind of soften the issue. And also by giving the option to have that conversation sometime in the future, it can enable both parties to come prepared to that conversation. And look, you're also giving them the option to have it written out. Some people, they can't stand waiting for potentially something negative, so they might just want the immediate feedback right there and then, in which case you can go ahead and send that across. But yeah, that's something that I think that approach is something I would employ in the future. It's been helpful for me reflecting on that. And yeah, if you think that you've got a better way of giving feedback or a totally different approach, do share, because I'm always open to learning something new. Thank you.